Hey, come here. Hey, man, you almost missed. I got your seat right next to me. Hey, be careful with that popcorn. Stop stepping on people's shoes. And sit down right here. Fam, thank God you made it. You at the movies with Pete McCorvey. Oh, shh. Start. What's good, everybody? It's your country cousin Pete McCorvey, a.k.a. Petey Mac. And y'all welcome back to another episode of At the Movies with Pete McCorvey. Hey, man, this past week, I think I've seen one of the best biopics I've seen in a long time. I ain't gonna say it's the best biopic. They say it's the best biopic. Let's not get carried away. But it's definitely one of the best biopics I've seen. And that is Michael. The biopic about the late, great Michael Jackson. When I tell you his nephew Jafar was him for 2 hours and 8 minutes. Y'all, woo! Hey, man, go see that movie. Go see that movie. Don't give fuck what the critics talking about. Go see that movie. And they got other characters down to the T, almost a spitting image of who they were portraying. Now, some stuff in there I ain't like, but I ain't gonna go into detail. Like I put it on social media. My next review that's gonna be out on May 15th is gonna be on Michael. I don't just do old movies. I do newly released movies as well. So, May 15th, I will be doing a review of Michael. And I'm trying to give a lot of y'all time to go see it. Like, if you ain't saw it by now, hey, that's on you. And because I don't want to hear nothing about no spoilers. As a matter of fact, I've been hating people online talking about y'all putting up spoilers about the movie. Who the hell don't know about Michael Jackson's life? He is one of the most highly publicized entertainers, if not, hell, people in general of all time. What the hell can we spoil for you? You know, it was like that when I went to the theater to see Straight Outta Compton. You know, there's people in there that actually died cried when Eazy died. I'm like, how the hell y'all not know about this? This has been public knowledge for 20 years. So yeah, y'all need to, like my grandmama say, man, just fix it, Jesus. Just fix it. You know what? I'm just gonna get into the film I'm gonna talk about today. The film I'm gonna be reviewing today is the 1994 crime/gangster drama or hood movie, Sugar Hill. Now, y'all, when I tell you this movie was hard for me to find, it's not streaming, or well, it wasn't streaming anywhere when I had got it on DVD. But you know what pissed me off? A week after I ordered it on DVD from Amazon, they put it on YouTube. And I'm talking about a DVD quality of it. Boy, I was heated. Man, oh, woo. Boy, but hey, the movie was released Friday, February 25th, 1994. The studio that distributed was 20th Century Fox. It stars Wesley Snipes, Michael Wright, who y'all know is Eddie King Jr., or as we pronounce it, Eddie Kane Jr. from the Five Heartbeats. Teresa Randall, Ernie Hudson, Abe Vigoda, and Clarence Williams III. Y'all all know the late, great Clarence Williams III. That was Prince's daddy in Purple Rain, and the devil on Tales from the Hood. The shit? Oh, don't worry. You'll be knee deep in the shit. And it also got almost an all-star featuring cast. It features the legendary Leslie Uggams. Y'all know her from Roots and other things. Most recently, she was in Deadpool. Candy Alexander. Steve Harris. That's Charles from Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Ladies, sisters, queens, please forget this man. He was doing a role, and it was over 20 years ago. Let that man make it. Vondae Curtis Hall, a very young Devon Nixon. If you don't know who that is, That was Kane from FX's hit series Snowfall. Marquise Wilson. That was Tyler from Hanging with Mr. Cooper. You know, Mark's annoying next door neighbor. A young Dule Hill. And a young Donald Faison, who was Murray in the movie and TV series Clueless from the 90s, as well as Turk from the medical comedy series of the 2000 Scrubs. Now, I kind of told y'all last time about my first time seeing this movie. Remember I told y'all when I was doing my review for Blue Chips, my mama took me by this theater by accident, and then after the first scene, we realized, I think we at the wrong movie. So I didn't see it all the way through. I didn't see it all the way through until later in like 2005 or 2006. It was on BET. Y'all remember around about that time, BET was going through this phase where they was playing all the 90s and early 2000s hood movies, and that's where they first started playing Baby Boy all day long. And they was even playing them damn hard to get VHS and like straight to VHS and straight to DVD ones as well. Well, that's when I saw it again, all the way through, which is crazy seeing as it was edited as fuck on BET. The director is Leon Achazo, and the writer is Barry Michael Cooper. Now, at the box office, it was a moderate success. It made $18 million, which gave it like a modest profit above its $10 million budget. So it made an $8 million surplus. Now, the critics, they weren't too forgiving with the movie. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 20% approval rating based on 10 reviews, with the average rating being 4.9 out of 10. Metacritic assigned the film a 50 out of 100 based on 26 critics, which made it mixed to average reviews. Tom McCarthy of Variety called it a self-indulgent drama that plays like a dreary variation of New Jack City, which Cooper also wrote. I ain't gonna lie, that was kind of spot on. Janet Maslin of the New York Times called it an ambitious but terminally self-important film. Kenneth Turan of the Los Angeles Times wrote that it sinks under the weight of excessive violence and welters of overwrought plot contrivance. Owen Gleiberman of Entertainment Weekly rated a C- and wrote, though the movie itself isn't much, a dawdling inner city pastiche of Mean Streets and Goodfellas films, a couple of performers do succeed in fleshing out their threadbare roles. Now, here's the synopsis for this movie. Romello Scuggs, who played by Wesley, runs a very successful heroin distribution operation in Harlem with his older brother Ray Nathan, played by Wright. While he has everything that any man in the life of crime could want, money, power, respect, demons from his past, as well as a blossoming relationship with an inspiring actress named Melissa, played by Randall, influence him to get out of the games. But standing in his way from achieving that goal is Gus Milano, played by Vaguda, a rival drug dealer named Lolly, played by Ernie Hudson, and the person he expects the least, his own brother, Ray Nathan. Now, here is what I thought. You know, a lot of movies tend to show Harlem, they show some beauty of it, especially like anything with Spike Lee. It's going to show the beauty of Harlem and all this luster and all this. This movie did not do that. I can only say, like, with the exception of the time he went to the park with Melissa in one of the scenes where they have on their first date, this movie showed the dark, gritty side of Uptown's world. Like, it was like real gritty, like seedy, you know. It wasn't as bad as King of New York. Because King of New York, like, if I saw King of New York back in the day, I would never want to go to New York City. This one is like, all right, I can go there, but I got to keep my head on the swivel. And what I love about this movie, it was a fresh take from what the average hood movie at the time was. The usual hood movie at the time dealt with the main character who was either on a straight and narrow, like Trey Styles and Boys in the Hood, or he was way past the point of redemption and just violent and ruthless, like Nino Brown in New Jack City, who was also played by Wesley Snipes. And how most of those movies seem to have like a hip-hop and R&B soundtrack to it or score to it, this one didn't. This score was comprised of primarily jazz, you know. And even one song I love on, I had to download because you can't find it on Spotify nowhere, and I couldn't find the soundtrack. It was by Simply E, called Feel My Funk. You got to remember, around about this time, by 93, 94, and I think a little bit early 95, a lot of rap was getting into that type of jazz style. Like one group, for instance, is K7 with their Hidey Ho. Y'all remember that? So everybody was kind of getting to that jazz type of style. And that's how Simply E's Feel My Funk was. Wesley Snipes, now I will give it to him on this. He portrayed the role of a dope dealer who struggles with morality and regret very well. The way they showed, and then I also loved how they showed members of the underworld. They were very believable. You know, a lot of times we watch movies and they, like, a lot of them just over the top. Like, they just ultra violent. Just ultra ruthless. But, or they just be just dressed like, for instance, if they from New York, they dress real flashy, gold chains everywhere. Or if the movie takes place in California, in the West Coast, they got on a flannel, one button at the top, khaki Dickies, Chuck Taylors. You know, just bandanas galore. You know what I'm saying? So these people, they was low-key, but still had style. Like, because basically, if you doing all of that, like I was saying, how they were doing in all the movies, there's no way you're not getting attention from law enforcement. There's no way you're not doing it. These, they were low key. They blend in with the vibe of New York City. Like, you just walk past them on the street, nobody may not even know this dude just had a huge heroin deal for over damn near hundreds of thousands of dollars, or he just killed somebody 2 days prior. Now, Clarence Williams III, I'm gonna give him I'm gonna give him a big hell yeah. Hey, first of all, Clarence Williams III, he gonna eat anyway. He eats anyway. That man, God rest his soul, that man was a hell of an actor. Like, the one thing you don't want to see him doing, you don't want to see him screaming, and you don't want to see him laughing in no movie, because it's not gonna end well. He really put me in his shoes as Romelo's and Ray Nathan's heroin-addicted father, Arthur, who was trying to kick his habit but kept falling short. And even though watching this movie, you knew he was never going to kick that habit, you still continued to root for him. That is the hallmark of a great actor. And he definitely is a believer. Now, while his acting was believable, and Wesley's act, like I said, because Wesley was he was like the other side of Nino Brown. Like, he's a complete 180. Romelo Scuggs and Nino Brown, two different people. But now, however, I praise those two for their acting, some of this acting was kind of cringing over the top. Like, Michael Wright, a.k.a. Eddie Kane Jr., he made Ray Nathan look like a walking cartoon character. Like, his, suicide, spoiler, the way he killed himself at the end, it was so, like, fucking cheesy. I was like, the hell? Vonda Curtis Hall, very famous actor, very talented director. He does a lot of work behind the camera as well. He portrayed a fictional New York Knicks player, Mark Doby, and it was so cringe-worthy. Like, especially that scene where he was trying to sexually assault Melissa. I was just like, oh my God, this ain't even just scary. This is just like, bro, this is just wrong. Teresa Randall, she had one scene in there too. It's like the scene right after Romello finds out his boy Goggles, who's played by Steve Harris, was killed. They found his body hanging in the alleyway. And while he and Melissa's on their first date, he pulls up in his car and gets out the car and go around the alleyway and see it. She gets out the car and comes and sees Goggles hanging up, and he say, I told you just take the car and drive home. And she just screams, I can't drive, and throw the keys and run. I'm like, okay, what the fuck was that about? I understand you distraught, but that was just weird. So it's definitely, and I'm not going to even lie, it's even one part in the movie. Every time I watch it, it's like, it's lost me in that zone out. And I pick it right back up for the climax. It's a small portion, but it's like, what the fuck did I miss? But even though this movie has all of that, it's still watchable. Every now and again, I'll like pop it out and put it in. And for that reason, I give it a strong 6 out of 10. Now, here's my takes or my WTF moments. Y'all know I got, like I said once before, Wesley Snipes was amazing in this film, in my opinion. I said once before, he was a complete 180 from Nino Brown. Romello Scuggs, smooth as butter. Dude was cool, calculating, but at the same time, he was still with the shits. Like, it's one scene I'm going to talk about, and this is one of my favorite scenes. Like, one of my favorite scenes he showed how gangster he truly was. And I'm going to tell y'all that when I get to the part was my favorite part in the movie. A lot of people, they talk about like Ghost from Power. Now, a lot of people say, if you know this movie, and somewhere down the line, I'm going to review it. Tristan from this movie called Blue Hill Avenue. A lot of people say, oh no, Ghost is, like Tristan was Ghost before Ghost. But first of all, Romello was Ghost before Ghost, and Tristan before Tristan. I'm going to say it like this. Romello crawled so Tristan could walk, so Ghost could run. If all three of them were running rival drug empires, ooh, boy, that's going to be good, because, boy, it's going to be a lot of twists and turns, because all of them can navigate and do it with style, too. In the beginning, now this is something that got me, and I've been saying this ever since I seen the movie. In the beginning of the movie, when Romello meets Melissa, her homegirl Chantel, played by actress Kimberly Russell, tells her, that's one nigga you do not want to get involved with. She said, he serves more heroin than McDonald's serves burgers. Now, she did that. Now, it seemed like it might have been a homegirl trying to warn. I didn't get that vibe there, but the vibe I got, I'm going to explain what it was. The vibe I got was reinforced later when Chantel introduced Melissa to Mark Doby. So her doing that, it reinforced what I thought when I saw that first scene. This implies that she's simply a sack chaser. That's what we call gold diggers where I'm from. She only want men with money and clout. So what I peeped, and like I said, that scene with her introducing Melissa to Mark Doby, this reinforced this to me. She seemed like she wanted Romello for herself, and either he rejected her or he smashed and dashed her, and she bitter about it. Because if you pay attention when Romello walk away after Melissa, quote unquote, chumps him off, Chantel kind of give him a look over like, whatever, you ain't all that shit. You could have had me while you bullshitting. And as fine, I'm going to tell y'all, as fine looking as she was, I think Romello smashed and dashed. So that's what I think he did. He hit it and quit it. And she's still in her feelings. Now, this one right here, I put this together. The next thing I'm going to talk about after watching it like a couple of years ago. So Donald Faison played Jaime. He's a little wannabe YN in there. You know, like Goggles even said, he said, man, you got a nice house. You live in a good neighborhood, but you want to come down there and act like you in the hood. Like you act like you on the hood. The crazy thing about Donald Faison is this. He became famous for like his roles in mainstream, i.e. white. That's what people say. I don't feel like in mainstream white media by portraying Murray, like I said, in the cult classic movie and TV series Clueless, and by later playing Turk in Scrubs. But his first three known roles that I know of were in hood movies. He was in Juice in 1992. He was a guy that came up to the locker right before Tupac's I Don't Give a Fuck scene and said to Q, Omar Epps' character, damn, it's been that long? Because he was fumbling with his locker like, damn, you been out of school that long? This film, which came out in 1994, and then another one of my favorite hood classics came out the next year in 1995, New Jersey Drive. That man played in three of the most hood movies you can think of, but came famous in some of the whitest shit you can think of. That proves that you are talented enough, you will not get thrown in a box. And it's not where you start, it's where you finish. Now this last one, to me, I'm going to just say this about this last one. I don't know if those y'all who saw the movie, but Ray Nathan's obsession with Romello leaving the game and moving away with Melissa was wild as fuck to me. It low-key gave Tony and Gina Montana in Scarface vibe. You know, like Tony, he didn't want to see her with nobody because of that much love he had. You know, that's what it gave him. That gave me that type vibe. Like, he was real possessive and obsessive about his brother. That was just like, I was like, man, why the hell? That's kind of weird, bro. Especially for a black man, we don't really do it like that much. The trivia for this movie, Wesley Snipes was paid $2.5 million for his role as Romello, which was his largest payday at the time. And Wesley mainly took this movie because he had been doing action films. You know, he did Passenger 57. I think he did Drop Zone too. And another movie, I can't remember the other movie, but I definitely know Drop Zone and Passenger 57. He did. And he just said he wanted a more dramatic role. And he had already worked with Barry Michael Cooper on New Jack City. So he read the script. He's like, shit, I'm on it. Like, hey, you turned me into a star by making me Nino Brown. Let's see if we can run it back 2 times. And speaking of Barry Michael Cooper, this movie is a part of his Harlem trilogy. So there's 3 movies that he wrote that took place in the same universe and all in Harlem. The first, of course, is one I keep mentioning, is New Jack City. Another one is Above the Rim. And this is the third one in that. So, yeah, he, like, hey, man, I did not realize until I got older, really got into, like, writing and researching that this man is responsible for 3 of my favorite movies from my childhood. And I didn't peep this until I went back and researched and watched this. Wesley Snipes and Teresa Randall both appeared together in King of New York. Y'all know King of New York, Frank White, Christopher Walken. Now, you talk about a dark-ass movie. And a gangster-ass movie. And they talk about the violence in this. The Chris talking about the violence in this. Shit. This is like Coco Melon compared to King of New York. And they also was in Jungle Fever together. You know, because he played the main character, Flip. She played one of his wife's homegirls. They was having a little tribunal after Flip had cheated. She the one that say she don't mind. She'll fuck any man, no matter what color it is. Because they was on her head about that. Now, this next thing I'm going to say, it's not really trivia. It's just something I noticed because I picked it up. So, Red Devil Angel Dust is mentioned in this movie by Romello in the scene after Melissa breaks up with him because she's like, I'm scared to go out with you because everybody's around you, keep dying, and you can't promise me next time I go out that door, I'm not going to be next. And he tells Ray Nathan about how he smoked some angel dust and Ray Nathan saved him. And then this is when Ray Nathan expresses that you all I got. I love you. I just don't want to lose you. And I ain't never loved nobody like you. Now, Red Devil Angel Dust was also mentioned in New Jack City by Nino Brown, who, like I said before, is also played by Wesley Snipes, when he unknowingly reveals to Scotty, who was played by Ice-T, that he killed his mother years ago. And this is another one, it's trivial, but you got to know me to know this last one. So if you know me, if I'm talking like somebody at me, hey, what you doing? I'm with my friends. Oh, I'm chilling with my boys. Like, what y'all doing? Shit, we just kicking it like good fellas. I'm like, hey, man, no, I'm going to get up with y'all tonight. Yeah, we going to kick it like good fellas, man. I got that from this movie. It was said by Ray Nathan. It's after they met Lolly to try to, I guess they were trying to make an alliance. Either he was going to get certain territory and Ray Nathan was going to stay in his territory. And Romello was like scolding him. He's like, what you doing, man? He said, why you sitting there? How you even get up with them? And then Ray Nathan said, man, we was hanging at the spot, kicking it like good fellas, man. And I always say, yo, I like that. So every time, if I'm chilling, like if my girl I'm dating, I'm with my boys or something, or like if I'm just at the house, my friend like, well, what you up to right now? Oh shit, bro, I'm just kicking it like good fellas, man. Now, my favorite part of the movie. So I got two favorite parts of this movie. The first part I mentioned this is how I realized how gangster Romello is. This is right after Goggles died, and Romello knew that Lolly was responsible for it. But he told him, said, look, I'm willing to call a truce. I lost my best friend of 18 years. I just want the killing to stop, man. He said, man, it didn't used to be like this in Harlem like that for real, for real. And Lolly tries to oh, you coming in here and that's weakness. And he pulls out a pistol and tries to punk him. And Romello is just unfazed and he says, hey, Lolly, take a look out their window. And then he says, you see that guy reading the comic book? And there's a guy outside, reading the comic book, looks up right as he said it with a menacing look. And then he said, well, how about that guy on the heavy bag? And there's a dude hitting the heavy bag. And then right as Romello said it, he stopped the heavy bag and looked in the office at Lolly. He said, what about that guy on the hood? Show a guy with a hooded sweatshirt, takes it off, and cocks a gun and then look at Lolly. That was all Romello's people. It's basically like, bro, you think you ahead of the game? I'm already 5 steps ahead of you. You don't want it. And then Romello said something gangster. He said, you don't hit none of my people, I won't hit your people. He said, you don't kill my brother, I won't take out your whole family. And he said, is that good, chump? I said, that is the most gangster shit I have ever seen. That's why I said earlier, y'all talk about Ghost being calculated. He ain't got shit on Romello Scuggs because he did it first and probably did it smoother. It was synchronized, y'all. When he said this shit, the people looked up and it was synchronized. It was beautiful. To quote the late, great John Witherspoon, they coordinated. You understand? The second is when Ray Nathan and one of his boys kidnap and tortures Coco, one of Gus's lieutenant, in retaliation for Goggles getting killed. And they are shooting them while singing Teddy Pendergrass. They pop shot. I think I need to let it go. Pow, pow. Looks like another. I don't know why, but that shit is hilarious. Watching them two actors do that. I don't know why. I probably need to give me some help. But that is one of my favorite scenes out that whole movie. Other than the other scene at the gym with Lolly and Romello. Now, my favorite quote. Is he like, now that I think about it, Goggles was a very centerpiece of a lot of this stuff that stuck out for me. Because here comes Goggles again. After the crew finds Goggles' body and they're on the roof planning the next move. Romello wants to be calculated. He wants to think it out. He's like, look, we gotta be smart about this. Ray Nathan just expresses loudly and bluntly, this is Harlem, motherfucker. The only motherfucking piece they understand up here is 9 motherfucking millimeter. This is the flavor that they savor up here, naval. Is riveting, is gangster, and it's hilarious all in the same shot. Oh my God, man. Yeah, that, like I said, that's my favorite quote. And that, y'all, that's my review for this movie, man. It's been my time. Join me on the 15th when I give y'all a review of Michael. I'm going to try my best to, I'm going to have to like really cut a lot of shit out. I'm going to have to do like how they did with the movie, cut a lot of shit out, because I know I could be there for an hour and a half, probably 2 hours talking. Y'all find me on Facebook. You can search my name, Pete McCorvey. Follow me on Instagram, PeteyMac10, PeteyMac10. Or you can follow me on TikTok, PeteyMac89. Same as Instagram, just drop the 1 to 0, put an 8 and a 9. Until the 15th, y'all be cool, stay calm, get paid. Peace.